Alrighty, so I was actually debating whether or not if I was going to do a news of the week episode because during the Christmas period, pretty much you're not going to have any news that is going to be worthy talk about in the news of the week episode because pretty much all the front office are shut down during the Christmas period. But that being said, once the 25th is over and as the day turned into the 26th and now into the 27th of December, we started to see some transfer rumors and even a signing that has happened in MLS. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not do a news of the week episode, knowing the fact that in these next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of news that's going to be coming out, and that on Saturday I'm gonna have to make another mega kind of news of the week episode where I probably need two boards if I didn't do one right now. But that being said, like I said, there was actually a signing that happened during the Christmas period, and I think this happened right before Christmas was happening, and that of course is Austin FC. They have signed goalkeeper Stefan Cleveland off a free agency. Now this is a very interesting signing, kind of an odd signing for Austin FC because I know Brad Stuver last year he kind of had a bit of an up and down season. I mean, there's times where Brad Stuver was absolutely god, and he pretty much channeled what he did in the first two seasons for Austin, being an unstoppable shot stopper. But then last season it was kind of an inconsistent season. But still, I do think that Brad Stuver is a great starting caliber MLS goalkeeper, and they decided to add another guy that I think could easily be a MLS caliber goalkeeper if he wasn't in the shadow of Stephen Fry, and that of course is Stefan Cleveland going from Seattle to Austin FC. And the reason why I say this is kind of odd is because now it seems like Austin have two really good starting goalkeeper in MLS, and unless if there is maybe like a competition going on between both of these goalkeeper, it's going to be interesting to see how the goalkeeping situation is going to be for Austin FC. I still think Brad Stuver probably has that starting spot locked down, but I won't be surprised if Stephen Cleveland might be playing himself into the starting role, because I think the other thing that is kind of odd for Stephen Cleveland to decide to do leaving Seattle to join Austin is the fact that he's joining another team that already has a decent goalkeeper in Brad Stuver. So if it is his position of trying to go to another team so he can get starting minutes, I mean, again, well, we'll see whether or not if he can beat out Brad Stuver in terms of the goalkeeping competition. But it should be very interesting to see who is going to be the starters. And that one thing I'll say about goalkeeping situation with a team, you really want to make sure you commit to one goalkeeper throughout the season, because you don't want to have a situation where you have to flip back and forth, and that we see so many times before. Some of the best team in the league doesn't do that, and some of the worst team of the league basically does that, which is they just don't have a good goalkeeper, so they switch back and forth, and it become a turns out in terms of the situation. Now, moving on. So RSL announced that they have part way with Damir Krylak after sixth season, and that definitely is another end of the air for RSL. We talk about Damir Krylak. If you talk about some of the greatest players to ever play for Real Salt Lake, obviously Nick Raimondo and Sal Beckerman is going to be on the list as the greatest player to ever don the carrot and football. But I think Damir Krylak is definitely on that list. I mean, with the moments that he has with his RSL team and big moments that he has done in the regular season and also in the playoffs. I mean, Amir Krylak, if they're gonna build a statue outside of the riot, I'm definitely thinking that they're gonna build Kyle Beckerman and Nick Romano as the statue first, but I won't be surprised they might add Demir Krylak on that list, because again, what he has done for this club during the sixth season has been absolutely extraordinary, and that he really built a legendary stats and is going to go down as one of the best and easily the top three best player to ever play for RSL. Now, moving on in terms of the next news, and now talk about some transfer rumors. So, Antoine Griezmann have said that he continued to express his interest in playing MLS after finishing his time in Europe, and this is not the first time that is the case. This is why I said continuously, because I think a year ago we heard the same thing, that he wants to come to MLS. He really likes the league, and that I won't be surprised in a couple years that is the case. Now, his contract with Atletico Madrid ends in 2026, so it's going to be interesting that once 2026 happens. happens, which team, of course, will get it, I won't be surprised it's going to be Inter Miami. I mean, especially with the way that they now have Luis Suarez, and that if Suarez does decide to play another year in 2025, it would kind of be a perfect transition for them to eventually move on from Suarez and then getting a guy like Antoine Griezmann. But again, don't be surprised he might come to MLS because MLS has definitely attracted a lot of big European name, albeit on the older side, and of course this doesn't really help the argument, and definitely give fuel to those Euro stuff that still says that MLS is considered to be a retirement league because they're still signing age-old player, even though I have repeatedly said that MLS has moved on from that tag because you don't. I mean, yes, you still see these big name kind of player come to MLS to get one last paycheck and maybe even get some jersey sale in the way. But when it comes to this being a retirement league, the reason why this league has always labeled a retirement league is because a couple of years ago, when a lot of these players come here, they really help their MLS team. That's not the case anymore. This is a league that I'll continue to say that it's become more of a selling league, and more of a league that is more focused on developing young players and eventually sell them off for a profit. And I'm pretty sure every league in Europe, especially the Big Five league in Europe, would understand that because for what we see in the past couple of years, MLS has created some really big outbound transfer, and have really given a platform for a lot of players, especially down in South America, to develop and eventually sell them all for big profit. And that's just going to be continued to be the thing. It's not going to be a retirement league, as what people have continued to say, just because another big name player like Antoine Griezmann could potentially come into the league in 2026. Now, the New York Red Bulls, they have announced that they are very close to acquire 21-year-old Swedish center back No Ellie from Malmo FF. In fact, this deal probably would be complete as soon as tomorrow. And from what I heard, he's definitely an upcoming defender. He's a really talented defender in the Swedish league. And it's also kind of interesting that for the Red Bulls, I don't think defensive help is one of the area that they need to help for, because they have some good defensive uh depth, and especially starting defensive quality in their team. But nevertheless, adding another piece in terms of that doesn't help or doesn't hurt whatsoever. And again, from what I heard, he's a very talented player, and won't be surprised he might even get slotted into the starting 11 straight away. Now, there is a report saying that an MLS club is looked to add Spanish winger TT Morente. Now, what's interesting about him is that he's 27 years old, and he's a veteran rather than a young player. So it's going to be interesting to see which MLS team is going to do in terms of adding some veteran present. I mean, they haven't really know which MLS. They didn't mention which MLS team decided to add him, but I'm surprised it could be teams, from what I heard, like Houston, Sporting KC, or even St. Louis is looking to trying to get him, especially for some of these teams that needs winger depth, and some of these competitive team that need winger depth or even starting winger quality. These are the teams that are definitely looking to try to get him. And then Botafogo is reported that they have offered a swap deal for Inter midfielder Gregory. Now, part of this deal is also trying to free up a DP spot for Inter Miami, but I think it will be crazy for Chris Henderson to decide to agree to this deal. I mean, I get it. Yes, they want to free up a DP spot, maybe adding another big name kind of player, or even just trying to get Neymar away from Saudi Arabia so they can complete the collection of the Barcelona 2015 Champions League team. But still, cutting tie with Gregory, I don't think this is the right move. Especially he still is very important to this team. I think once he does come back from injury, which I think he is going to be ready to start for this upcoming season. I mean, it looked like he was ready to start for this team even in the latter part of the season. But now that he's fully recovered, I think he should easily slot into to the starting spot, because you can see that this Inter Miami team, once they lost Gregory, you can clearly see that back line was fully exposed. I mean, this is a guy that I won't be surprised heading into next season. He's going to be regarded as a top five defensive midfielder, and a guy that could be right up there in terms of the likes of Jose Martinez and and Diego Char as the best number six in the league. He is just that good, and that it's so unfortunate that he suffered that torn ACL injury, and really that was a big loss that was definitely showcased in full when Inter Miami was just having problem in terms of defending last year. So yeah, again, I think this will be crazy for Inter Miami to decide to let him go, especially with how important he is protecting that fragile back line. But we'll see whether or not if that rumor is true. And another guy that I can't believe LAFC have still not think about re-signing him is Diego Palacios. So now there is another rumor in the Diego Palacios sweepstake that he's actually going to be going down to South America and going to join Corinthians. Now, again, as I said before, I think it's still crazy the fact that LAFC decided to let go of Diego Palacios, because I do think he's considered one of the best fullback in the league, and this is why FC Cincinnati has been really chasing to get him. Consider it seems like they're going to lose Alvaro Barrio this off season, and that I think Palacios would be a perfect replacement for Barrio. I wouldn't say would be an exact like to like replacement, because Barrio is probably the best fullback in the league last season, but Diego Palacios is not that far behind. But the fact that again LAFC decided to not even show any interest of re-signing him, even though he's still a big part of that back line for this LAFC team. Very, very surprised. And again, I won't be surprised that eventually we're going to have a winner in terms of Diego Palacio sweepstake, and that when they eventually someone gets the sweepstake, they're gonna get a really good player. But now the question is he gonna stay in MLS or maybe even go down to South America? And then finally, in the last news, so Adidas have announced that they will release more third kit for MLS team next season. So one of the things I'll say about the third kit, I do like those third kit, and I think Adidas has done a really good job in terms of designing these third kit. I mean, I think the only one I could say that was kind of ugly was maybe the Atlanta United third kit that they released last season. But otherwise, all these third kit that they released has been excellent. Though I can also understand why there are still some doubters that saying that this is still kind of a terrible idea that Adidas is releasing more of these third kit, and there are still maybe that fear that they're gonna mess it up again. I mean, I'll give Adidas credit the fact that at least last season they really got it right in terms of most of the kit that they released last year. But I can also understand why people are still very skeptical toward Adidas, because 1 year of doing a good job in terms of releasing these home kit or away kit for every single team, and even these third kit that they released last season is not going to be a forgiveness to them just kind of botching it for the last couple of seasons besides last year's. And that there's also no guarantee that heading into this season, with the way that they're gonna release another batch of home or away kit for each of these MLS teams, that they're gonna do it correctly. There's always that reputation that Adidas is not gonna get it right. But I will say that Adidas, as I said last year, they done a great job of it, and at least they are trying to repair their reputation in terms of MLS fan base hating them in terms of release. Seen some really bad jerseys for the past couple of years, and that again interesting to see these third kid, and especially I can't wait when they eventually do release a San Jose Earthquakes third kit, or even a third kit for Minnesota United. For the San Jose Earthquakes one, gotta go red. They have to go red, and especially with the way that this is the 50th anniversary of the San Jose Earthquakes, they have to release that 1974 red kit that really would pay a good homage to the club. And as for Minnesota United, I mean, they could maybe go with the wing kit again. They could even do something similar to the team that was in the NASL, or even maybe pay a homage to the Minnesota Star, or the NSC Star that was known for it, or even go even more old school and pay homage to the Minnesota Funders that was playing in the NASL back in the 1970s. But whatever these third kit that Adidas is going to release for these MLS teams, can't wait to see how they will release it and how they design, because for most part they've done a really good job in terms of releasing these third kit for these MLS teams. But there you have it. That is pretty much it in terms of looking at the news that has happened in the past couple of days. Again, this is going to be turning out to be one of the shorter video that I'll do this off season because again, there's really not too much news that happened in the Christmas period. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of these news? And as always, if there's any news I didn't mention here on the board that happened during the Christmas period, let me know in the comments as well. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.